Good afternoon. This is the Eye of the Storm podcast with the Elliott Wave weekly update for gold, silver, and platinum, being recorded on Saturday, November the 15th at 2:35 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I'm starting here on the chart for gold, and I'm on the weekly chart. There are no changes to be making to that larger picture where we continue. I'll quickly do that review. We continue to move higher in an intermediate third wave, but that's actually starting from a primary third wave. And so we're in a primary wave 3. Inside of that, we have intermediate waves 1 and 2 complete. And inside of that, when inside intermediate wave 3, we have 5 waves of minor degree, of which 1, 2, and 3 are complete. We're in that minor fourth wave. So we're in minor wave 4 of intermediate wave 3, which is part of an intermediate wave 3 of primary wave 3 of likely what will turn into a 5-wave primary degree cycle. So we're looking for primaries, and now we got primary wave 3 is our next one up, but first we got to finish intermediate 3, 4, and then 5. Bringing that down to the 3-year chart. Actually, I'm going to go one more out to that 5-year. I want to show the completion. So here we are. We're inside this intermediate third wave, of which we're in minor, completed just minor wave 3 of intermediate wave 3. And so that was the 303 move. It was very dynamic. It was great. And now we're coming down in a minor fourth wave. And so far, I believe we've done A and B. So I'm going to quickly bring it down again. Let's take it to the daily. Now we want to take a look inside. So we have all the development coming up in that minute and then minor degree third. And so we have wave A, minute A of minor 4. And then we have minute wave B of minor 4. Bring this down one more time, bring it down to that hourly chart. Take a look inside. You see that I've got the 5 up there, and that goes all the way up to the minor third. And then we have, which is best counted as an ABC down, an ABC up, and now we're starting on the C wave down. So that's what we completed. It really was a beautiful rally, by the way. So there was that potential that we had an ABC down. I could have put the 4 there. But you can see we're starting to come down, and we're actually crossing over what should have been, if it's going to be a fourth wave, shouldn't cross here, and it did. So that leaves this as a B. So it's A, B, and let me just see what I've done there. Yeah, that's below. An A and a B. Let me just check one thing to make sure. Yep, that's what I thought it was. Not done. Good. Now we got it. So here we are, our fib levels for the C wave. So again, C we normally start by looking for equality, where wave C is equal to wave A, and that's going to come in at 37.49. So once again, let me just move this back out again to the daily chart, and we're going to see how this lines up. So here's the minor degree support, and that's for minor 4. And the first one up is 37.42, excuse me, which is 0.236. Now, normally for a fourth wave, we'd be looking for 382, which takes us all the way back to 33.35. Now, let me just kind of add some additional here. If we get a total blowout, you can see we can, not necessarily down to there. So let me go back and take that out, because I'm definitely not looking for that low. But if we kind of come through here and there's enough pressure on gold to correct further, for whatever the reason is, then again, we're opening the door for 3,500. So, excuse me, not even 34.39 to 33.35. Now, 33.35 would be where wave 4, minor wave 4, was 0.382. That's the most common retracement for a fourth wave. So again, if I take it out one more, I'm going to bring it out again to the 5-year, which is going to show the entire third wave. That's all not that much. It's not that much. It'll feel like it because we were sitting up at 43, 40, almost 4,400. And we're dropping back possibly $1,000 to maybe 1,100. Um, but in the larger scheme of things, it seems like a strong correction, but so was the rally. So was the rally. So was this whole rally. It was very strong from there up to there. So coming back 38%, it's not as severe. Because what comes after this, folks, to be honest with you, is like if we come down and this all holds, then we are still looking for these larger levels. And the next rally up, I suspect, would get us closer to 5,000. And then we'd be marking that accordingly as this all started to unfold. You can see I have nothing up there. So first thing I do is I get the 4, and then I'm going to connect 1 to 4 to put in where minor 5 will come in. And then we're also going to be looking out. We do have the intermediate degree, which is the yellow mixed in there. And so we're at 4,900 to 5,000 and above. So it's pretty nice that once we pick up this rally again, it should be the stronger finishing leg, and it would be a minor fifth wave. And as I've discussed so often, although you'd never guess it here, it is inside that fifth wave. There's the minute fifth wave. We went parabolic. There is the minuet fifth wave. We went parabolic. So do I have any reason not to believe that when we get into this minor fifth wave, we're going to go just the same? It's even going to be more intense. That's my thought. That's how the wave pattern is laying out. That's what we've witnessed. And the generalization is that gold, along with silver, most often goes parabolic one direction or the other, but has more pressure, or just upside or downside pressure. I guess I should call it. Energy, parabolic nature, and it comes in the fifth wave. The extensions usually will come within the fifth wave versus the third. This overall was the third, but the largest extensions came within the fifth wave of each level. There's a fifth wave. There's the fifth wave. So again, minute 5 and minuet 5. Those were two great rallies, and I'm expecting the next one. But first, let's see if we can't get down. 37.50 to 37.40 is our first layer, our first stop. And again, it's a C wave. So I am looking for 5 waves down. And if I had to say, I'm going to look at that. It goes 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of 3, 4, 5, and then we're down into our support levels. And basically, minimally, I'm looking for wave C to go to a new low below wave A, which was 3,901. So although that could work, it would be a little bit of a failure. I'm looking for at least that. If not, equality, which is down here, which then we're starting to match up with our other fibs for that fourth wave. And that's really about it. Now, other than, I have to think that what we've been witnessing in our moves and internally is that a lot of downside happens on Friday and its expiration. So it's these Friday expirations. This one wasn't so bad, but this one was, and we've had other Fridays where we've had some stronger declines. Again, this I believe was options related. Next Friday we have a monthly expiration. So one way or the other, we seem to kind of have that activity coming in on a Friday. At least it did last week. So next Friday, maybe we get it again. And that could just help to fill up these blanks and get us down there to finish this fourth wave. All right, let's go over and take a look at silver, which, by the way, let me open this up just a little bit more. Let me go out to this one. No, I think I can go to the daily and show the same thing. Here we are. Silver. This was 5 down, which surprised me. And on the daily chart, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And no matter how I count this thing, it keeps coming up as 5 down. So I am surprised. I am surprised that the mark, based on that the market went all the way up and actually moved to a new all-time high at 54.41. And that was on Thursday. And then on Thursday, we hit that and we started to come down. And then on Friday, we dropped over $2. In fact, we got below 50 again. So same deal. Here, we went up, we got highs 53,765 and immediately dropped pretty much on the same day. Here was the day after. We dropped from 53.375 to 49.86, closing back at 50. So again, typical silver. When it decides it's going to correct, we have two big swooshes. This one was three. That's one. That's three. That's five. So again, I'm a little bit surprised at this wave pattern here. But here's how I can look at it when I come down to the hourly. I have an A, a B, and a C. You see it? It's a five. It's a three. It's a five. Now, it could continue. So what? Yes. And I meant to go back further. My apologies. I meant to go back to, let me go here. It's this guy I'm trying to count out. Sorry, not this one, because this one I can count as five. But if I go inside, I go one, two, now three, four, five, A, B, one, two, three, four, five, C. So again, when we're looking at these on, say, for example, there, it does 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Why? What happened here, gold? Why are you up there to that new high? Now, I don't think that that completed 4 and this completed 5. Let me start by that. I think that this was A and we're completing the B and we're still going to come down. Because actually, take a look. A, B, C up. Again, let's go back to that other chart, which then we go look on the inside of this. So A, B, excuse me. And then we've got that. It is 5, but it's a C. So I put a B up there. Now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. We come down into 5. Man, probably get again below 50, maybe. I'm not sure exactly where, but we can do this. I've taken that down to, actually, I could take it all the way to there and go over to there. You can see, even just to do our next leg, if this is 1, 2, and that's a 3, and this is a 4, where's 5 can come in? 48.95, as low as 47.44. And that's just for wave 3 of C. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Actually, we could. 2.618 takes us to 44, and boy, that takes us right into that level where we could be done. So again, if I'm going to count this as 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah, it'd be either big 5 or I'm looking at it a little bit differently. I need to kind of check out what I've got going on here. It'll be 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3, 4, 5. I'm thinking that we need to get a lot more in this third. So we might have a little bit stronger down day on Monday. Maybe. Otherwise, we're kind of left with 3. A, B, C. If it stops there, turns and starts going back up again, that'll make for an interesting conversation, because I'm not actually looking for that right now. I'm looking for silver to follow through, get down and get done with this C wave. So even here, 1, 2, and I need a little bit stronger of a third, a 4, and a 5, and it'll be that 5th wave. Remember, again, silver, 5th wave, like gold, is where I look for those extensions. There we have. There's the 5th that was very strong. 1, 2, 3 was good. The 5th was better, but the entire that was all the 3rd wave, wasn't it? So here it does usually happen within. And being that we're just coming down in the minute 3 of 5. So this happened inside of 5, inside of this 5th wave. And we were looking, well, this actually, you know what? I could say 4, and we're starting that 5th wave up. And this is 1, 2, 3, 4. As long as it doesn't break that, it would stay valid. If we started right from here and started heading up, I guess I better include that, right? If this is true, just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, excuse me, A, B, C, then I don't want to put 4 there. I think we should still come down and complete it. I make a new low below it. But we did reach 0.382. And that's the most common for a fourth wave. So there is that possibility still strong. What's got me a little bit is this immediate sell-off right off of that new all-time high. Same thing here. Makes a new all-time high, immediately sells off. Makes it again, immediately sells off. Now, how much of that? Let me see where this was. This was on October the 16th. Let me just see. Go back and check my dates. October the 16th was the Thursday, and then we had the Friday, and this would have been the 21st, the following Monday. So no, that's not going there. It happens on Fridays. Which makes it more like it's connected with expiration. So again, both sides. ABC could be the 4. We're in the rally. That would stay in effect as long as this stops right where it is. Cannot come down and cross over that high, which is 49 for all intents and purposes. 49, do not cross coming down. And our low thus far is 49.86. So this is one where I'd expected, if that's the case, silver's going to stop and start rallying again. And our first levels, we'd be able to fill in more levels. But if I had to, I would go from here to here to here if we're doing it that way. And check it out. 1.618 is 59. 100%, we've already gone above. So 1.618 would be next. It is, excuse me, not 59, it's 58. So the 100% level here, that's for our primary degree, which is a Y wave, not thinking that that's going to stop it. I think it could pause it. And then because right above it, we have a 58.30, 58.25. We have 1.618 for this wave. So if this is the 4, we're coming up in 5, and wave 5 got to there, then we're finishing minor wave 5, and then intermediate wave C, I believe. Let me go back out. Intermediate wave C, and the primary, I got to go all the way out to the weekly, and the primary Y wave. See how that comes in, X, Y. So if it goes through there, yeah, it could. And then because we still have our next levels up for intermediate degree, takes us up to 65. So these still exist. And so what we have for minor 5, we've gone through everything. So the next one for the minor degree is 4.236, which is at 66, 65. So yeah, those are real levels, but possibly not now. So again, big scale, what I got, a W, X, and this is a Y. What normally can follow after this is another X wave, and then it does a Z. Z, 2 kind of looking like a Z, but it could be in the other way. So we get a Z wave, which could also then bring us back up again. We go, we just do that Z, and then we do another big rally. So we'll wait and we'll see what kind of comes through. But if WXY, we'll see what that Y, and then if we get another X wave, well, what type of pattern we're going to start coming down in. Because again, if we're following these, we get that C completes the Y, we come tumbling. We come tumbling down. We go way down. All tradable, by the way. So it's just stick to the numbers, folks. It's like right now we're looking for these higher levels, and that's where the money's being made. Doesn't mean that you fall in love with $50 silver, because eventually it finishes and it's going to correct and it's going to come back down. That's been its history. Histories, corrections, and they can be big, particularly after big, big, large, parabolic moves. That was a parabolic move. This was a very parabolic move. and they all corrected. That went from $50 back down to $3. Huge, huge, huge. So each one presents its opportunity, so it's tradable on the way up and on the way down. All right, so that's kind of silver, bringing it back into a more current picture. Right now, I've got additional, I think if this is A and this is a B, we've got that C wave. I'm thinking right off the bat that maybe we got a shot where that's upside downside. I put over here, 100% is 46. We have additional support down below at 45. That's the 382 for this 4. So yes, 46 to 45 can still hold. And then it puts us really in the flat, big old flat. Maybe it come a little bit below 45, to make up for how we went a little bit above that previous high. And then we put in the 4, and then we do it all over again. That's kind of that's my optimal count. We come back down, we touch this, and we go once again, and we do make it up to here. So again, 2 ways of getting there. Either we come down first and then go do it all over, or we hold above 48, turn and rally again and do it now. Those are the 2. And we have that 58, 57, 58 level, and then it goes to 65. Pretty much nothing in between. And that's that. And I'm going to move over to platinum. So really the metals were kind of nicer, cleaner moves and sticking with their current wave patterns. Now here in platinum, let me go to the 5 year so get a little bit larger picture. We have the A and the B, and these were all as a part of a primary B wave, sits up there. So we had the triangle pattern, we had the E wave, which was a triangle within the triangle, but it all completed. And then we had a C wave, which consists of an intermediate degree C wave, and that's 5 waves of minor degree. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and there was 5. We got up to 1770, and then we started to correct. And thus far, I'm counting this as that we need to get our 5 waves down in. And so because if we finished an intermediate degree C wave, what we're going to be coming down in is another C wave, and it should be at a primary degree. So it's got to be, we're going to come down in primary C will consist of 5 waves of intermediate degree. So I'm thinking intermediate wave 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. Now, having said that, we have to be careful because that primary C wave does project 88.2, right? So we really need to consider this one. And then we have 100%. And in between, we got a big black hole because 100 sits way underneath all that at $10. And I don't think platinum's going down to $10 unless everything just collapses. I mean, every currency on the planet collapses. But here makes more sense that we just need to get down underneath there. So 210 is a little bit too deep. This was during the pandemic, and it was 562. So I'm willing to really consider 683 because those are kind of in the range of where the market has been previously. Closest that it's been is here, and that was 796 back in 2022. This was pandemic low. Might go back and equal it, but I'm not really looking for this thing to dump much below because we have seasonal factors that'll step back in. And let me go back out and just kind of see what I can pull in. Let me do this. No, not going to work. So all the data I have is for platinum. It goes back only to 2003. I'd go back and see if I can find a larger chart just to see where this all comes from and how low things get. But right now, according to this chart on the data that I have, the lowest it's been in the last 22 years is 562. And that was the completion point for primary wave A. And this is primary wave B. So I'm looking for that C wave to come down below it, which could be 487, 421, 365 all in here. That 882, 218. I'd be a fool to say it can't, so I'm not going to do that. But we'll just track it as it comes down. So again, going back to where we are, you're going to see why I'm kind of counting it the way we have it, in the degree that I have it, because there's still so much more to go. So I think we can come down. And again, we're coming down in a primary degree C wave, which will consist of 5 waves of intermediate degree labeled 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is, I'm starting in minor. Worst case, it's intermediate wave 1, intermediate wave 2, and now we're in intermediate wave 3, which should bring us down pretty far, intermediate 4, and then a 5, which again should tag us closer down into here. And so that C wave gets below there. And this C wave would definitely need to get, needs to get below. Well, I always have to go back out. So much time has passed. Gets below that A wave. But I even think it could do that. If it's coming down in intermediate 1, intermediate 2, intermediate 3, should bring us all the way back to here, get a 4, and then we get a 5, and it could bring us down to here. So it definitely can do it. It just depends on what degree I'm going to count it. That's where I'm starting, but bear in mind that it might be a little bit different. It could be 1 higher. And all of this is a minor degree, and this is intermediate. And that is just not right. That is. I thought that looked weird. All right, so precious metals doing what I'm expecting. Some of these moves internally, though, are like, whoa, what are you doing? Like particularly last week when gold and silver just kind of decided to rally. I mean, just truly just rally, particularly silver. Just like, okay. And so it just really made me think what's going on. Now that we see that result, it still appears that it was corrective in both of them. And also here as well, it was corrective, but we just started down and they didn't do that big bounce on Thursday. All right, that's going to be it for the precious metals. The next update will be next week.